Hi, this is Dugi from Ultimate WoW Guide. I have a very special video for you that was sent to me by my good friend Jonathan Cannons. The video that I'm about to show you is about making gold using the upcoming Children's Week event. I've used this method last year and I made about 4,000 golds in 2 days, spending only 20 minutes on the auction house per day. But there is a lot of preparation involved before the events begin. So make sure you watch this entire video right now and try this technique right away. I hope you will enjoy it and I will see you soon.
Jonathan Cannons here with another in my series of massive gold blueprint guides to the world events in World of Warcraft. Gold guides covering the opportunities specific to each of the events taking place throughout the year. And today I'm talking about the Children's Week event, and this is not one of the big money-making world events by any means, but there is, as with pretty much every single one of the world events, there is at least some opportunity for making a bit of gold, and it's worth knowing about it and checking it out on your server to see if there's going to be some opportunities for you. So let me walk you through these very quickly. And in the case of Children's Week, it's all about the food, and specifically food related to one particular achievement involved in the Children's Week event. Children's Week, by the way, runs each year in May, starting on, I guess, the first Sunday of May each year. So this achievement, a bad example, the requirement for this achievement, and it is part of the overall meta achievement tied to Children's Week, which is, again, part of the big series of achievements that everyone's trying to complete in order to get their cool mount for completing all of the meta achievements for all of the world events. So that's one of the reasons why this is so desirable. The requirement is to eat 7 specific food items in front of your orphan. So you know that Children's Week is all about fostering orphan children from around Azeroth and taking them out around the world, doing various achievements like killing bosses or using your Hearthstone and so forth. In this case, the reason it's called a bad example is because you're eating sweets, basically pastries and sweet foods. And some of these foods are more or less difficult to obtain, and that's where the opportunity for some gold making comes in. So let me just switch over and show you what the specifics of this achievement are. So bad example, eat the sweets listed below while your orphan is watching. So strawberry ice cream, tasty cupcake, red velvet cupcake, delicious chocolate cake, lovely cake slice, Dalaran brownie, and Dalaran donut. And that will do it. So that's what you have to do to complete this achievement. Let me talk about how each of these foods is obtained. So as I say, some are relatively difficult to obtain. And like most of the world events, the profit potential is greatest during the first day of the event. So this is something where you want to be able to jump on it right away when it opens up. Now, the opportunities then are that you can buy some of these foods that I just mentioned from vendors and then resell them in the auction house. And of course, anybody can buy these items, or pretty much anybody. Yeah, anybody can buy these items as long as they can get to Dalaran, for instance. But the point is that a lot of players will just run into the auction house to buy them because it's convenient, and they don't really know where to get these items. And so you're providing a service, and you're making profit as a result. And the other thing is, a bit better opportunity is to buy and sell the materials for cooking recipes associated with 2 of these foods. And this means the materials for those particular recipes are going to go at higher than normal price levels leading up to and during the event, based on supply and demand. And one of those will be the very familiar small egg, which you know from Wintervale, a similar strategy during Wintervale. The panic to obtain the item in question here, the delicious chocolate cake, is a little bit less compelling than it is during Wintervale, which is the event, gold making event number 1 during the year. But still, this is another outlet for your small eggs. Anyway, let me get into this in more detail. The crafted food items. There's 2 of them. Delicious chocolate cake, which requires cooking skill of level 1, but it's a very rare, well, not very, it's a somewhat rare recipe, and a lot of cooks don't have it. And it's because it's only obtainable as a rare drop as a result of the daily cooking quests, both in Shattrath and in Dalaran. So lots of cooks just don't have this particular cake recipe. And the Tasty Cupcake, which is a level 350 cooking recipe, that's a world drop, bind on pickup, just like the chocolate cake recipe. And so again, a lot of cooks don't even have that recipe. So one thing to watch out for is if you do have these recipes or can get them, in the case of the delicious chocolate cake, you might want to start doing your dailies right now ahead of time to grab this recipe, because it can be quite lucrative since so few people actually have the recipe and can make the item. So that's the crafted food items. I'll detail those a little more in a second. And then just let me run down the vendor food items. So you remember the list had 7 foods on it. So here we go. There's the a lovely cake slice, which comes from Lovely Cake, and that is obtained in Dalaran. And then also from the same vendor, Amy in Dalaran, is the red velvet cupcake, the Dalaran brownie, and the Dalaran donut. And so that's 6 of the foods accounted for. And then there's one more, the strawberry ice cream, which is available from special event vendors, and pretty easy to get once the event starts. But you can also obtain this item year-round from a couple of specific locations and vendors. And so it might even be worth your while, if you can, to obtain some of these, the strawberry ice creams, and have them up for sale as soon as the event opens. Although, it's just as easy to, even easier to go to the event vendors once the event opens and throw these up in the auction house. And, a fair number of people will actually buy in the early going, in the first few hours especially. Even though it's readily available for next to nothing from a vendor, they'll buy it in the auction house for several gold each, just because they aren't aware of the fact that it's available from a vendor in the game. So now let me run down these a little bit more in detail. So delicious chocolate cake. As I mentioned, it's a rare cooking recipe from the daily cooking quests, and most cooks don't have it. So here are the key ingredients. There's several ingredients that are just commonplace that you buy from cooking supplies vendors in most of the inns. But the key things are the mage royal. Need 3 of those. Small eggs, as I mentioned, and you need 8 small eggs per chocolate cake. And then a flask of port, which is a fairly cheap item available from some bartenders and innkeepers in the game, but not all. And the reason I mention flask of port, even though it's a vendor item, because it is a little bit out of the way and it's not all that convenient. Again, many players won't really know where to pick it up and get it, although I would guess that most cooks who are able to make the chocolate cake recipe are probably aware of how to obtain flask of port. However, the fact that the cooks will be making delicious chocolate cakes to meet the demand during this event means especially mage royal and small egg will be in high demand. So here's what you want to be doing with this. First of all, if you have the recipe, you want to get your mats, your materials ahead of time, your mage royal, small egg, flask of port, whatever, and craft a few of them, make a few up, and then start selling right away on the first day of the event. That's when you'll get the highest prices. And the kinds of target price you should be looking at are anywhere from 20 gold up to 50 gold. And be aware that this chocolate cake sells year-round for something in the 15 to 20 gold range anyway. And that's one reason why the price can easily be as high as 50 gold on many servers during the early hours, the early days of the Children's Week event. Now, if you don't have the recipe and you're not a cook or whatever, then the other opportunity here, and it's a good one, is to stock up on the materials ahead of time at cheap prices. So you can put these on a buy list, a shopping list, and buy when they're cheap. And then, for sure, they're going to sell at higher prices during the event. So mage royal and small eggs. You remember during Winter Veil, the small eggs, which you can sometimes get for 10 or 15 silver apiece, go for 5 gold. They may not go quite as high as that during Children's Week, maybe more like 2 to 3 gold each. But they should sell in pretty high volumes. And of course, even for the lowest level players, if you don't have higher level tunes and you're just trying to gear yourself up and get some gold, you can farm small eggs. The best places are Azure Mist Isle for the Alliance and around Silver Moon City off of Dragonhawks for the Horde. Those are the easiest, highest drop rate locations to get your small eggs. Mage Royal, of course, low-level herbing. Tasty Cupcake. So similar issues here, although there's not as much opportunity because it's simpler. So first of all, this is a world drop recipe. You can't really sort of go out and intentionally try to obtain it, and it's bind on pickup, so you can't buy it in the auction house. So you either have this recipe already or you don't. And if you have it, same kind of deal as with the delicious chocolate cake. Make some up ahead of time and start selling them. The key ingredient here is northern egg, which normally has quite low prices. There isn't much you do with northern egg, but the price will drive much higher due to demand for crafting up the tasty cupcake during Children's Week. So again, you should be able to obtain cheap northern eggs before the event and then sell them at quite a good profit during Children's Week, or just before, you know, the last day or so before. So again, if you have the recipe, stock up on your northern eggs when they're cheap, craft some, start selling on the first day of the event. Your target price here can be in the 10 gold to 20 gold range for tasty cupcakes. And be aware again that it sells year-round for 5 gold to 10 gold, and I sell it at that price year-round, not in high volume, but somewhat steadily. And again, if you don't have the recipe, then just stock up ahead of time on cheap northern eggs and sell at high prices during the event. The other thing to look for is perhaps the tasty cupcake is available for sale on your server ahead of the event, simply because it's you know, it's not an uncommonly sold item. It's used for other achievements in the game. There's one other achievement in particular that uses the tasty cupcake, so it'll be around on the auction house. So that said, let me just switch over into the game and have a quick look at some of what's going on. So you see here in the auction house, I have set up a Children's Week shopping list in Auctionator, and I'll detail these, you know, on the slides and talk you through it in a minute. But these are the kinds of things. So you can see I've just posted some lovely cake slices. I'll be talking about those in a sec. But have a look. First of all, northern egg I mentioned. So yes, you can see that's a pretty low price, and I think that's historically on this server, you know, a reasonable price. Yeah, market price according to Auctioneer is around 40 silver. You can see there's a stack of 20 at 25 silver, so that kind of price. And those will go much higher than that during Children's Week, probably around 2 gold a piece. Small egg, same kind of thing. You'll see some already. The prices are actually driving up a little bit on this server because I've been seeing lower prices than this. And so somebody still has a stack of 19 up at 50 silver each, but you can see the price is going higher. And again, you'll be seeing small egg going for 2, 3, 4 gold a piece on most servers. Tasty cupcake I mentioned sells year-round, and let's see what this, it's sort of 50 silver each according to Auctioneer. And as I say, you can actually sell them for much higher than that if there's no competition. But look at this, somebody's got a stack of 10 up for 1 silver 50. I'm going to actually buy that because I can't make them that cheap or obtain them any other way that cheap. Delicious chocolate cake. There's one up right now at 34 gold 50, and I would guess that's probably anticipating Children's Week coming up. That's a fairly high price, market price of 15 gold on that one, and not very many seen for sale, but you can certainly be getting in the 50 gold range on delicious chocolate cake. And I guess I don't have the other cake piece up here, the slice. So lovely cake slice, there's no lovely cake, but lovely cake slice, that's mine, up for sale. And I'm just going to add this to the list. Actually, it'd be just as well to I've put cake up, and that'll do. Or you could put lovely cake on your list, so you'll see either slice or the whole cake. So that's just a quick run through of what's happening. Oh, and of course, Mage Royal I mentioned. So again, if you can buy these now, Mage Royal has a good market year round. It'll drive even higher during Children's Week because there will be some extra demand, considerable extra demand for Mage Royal during Children's Week, but nothing crazy. So, you know, my typical price for Mage Royal Don't know if I have any in my bags to just show you in appraiser here. Hang on. Where would Major Oil be? I guess I don't have any out right now. Am I missing it? No, I guess I just don't have any in my bags. So the situation with Major Oil, I would be selling it for around 2 gold each anyway, so stacks of 5 at around 10 gold. And I think it'll probably drive a little bit higher than that, but it'll certainly be easy to sell at relatively good, strong, high prices during Children's Week. So I've gone through the 2 crafted items, which is where a lot of the opportunity for gold making is sitting. Now, the vendor stuff, let me run through these quickly. So first of all, in Dalaran, and of course you should have your auction house alts set up with their hearthstones for Dalaran so they can go and buy these items. So you've got the lovely cake, sells for 18 gold from Amy. Now Amy, the pastry vendor, is the NPC just outside the north side bank in Dalaran. So if you're familiar with the 2 banks in Dalaran, there's one towards the north, and just off to the right of the entrance to the bank, you'll find Amy, the pastry vendor. So, lovely cake, 18 gold. Now this makes 5 lovely cake slices. Now it's the lovely cake slice that's actually used for the achievement. So you can certainly go ahead and sell the lovely cake all by itself, and you know, you want to mark it up. You're buying it for 18 gold. You want to sell it for at least 50 during Children's Week. And so you want to check and see if that's the kind of price that's going. Otherwise, probably not worth your time to do this. But what you can also do is, if you have a level 75 character toon, the level 75 can buy the lovely cake and use it. So what happens when you use the lovely cake is it sets the cake out to be used by your party, and it makes 5 slices. And so no, you can't do this unless you're level 75 though. So what happens is, if you're level 75, you just click on it in your bag, target it to the ground, and it will make a cake on the ground, and then you just click on it 5 times and you get 5 slices back into your bags, because you're the only person in your party, right? So that's how you do it. That's how you end up with 5 cake slices. And of course the slices will go for even more of a markup than just selling the cake. So you'll probably be able to sell your lovely cake slices for 20 gold and up pretty easily during Children's Week, especially on the first day if you've got these ready ahead of time. So get your level 75 tunes, use the cake to create your lovely cake slices. And be aware also, there's a 30-minute cooldown on using lovely cake. So you have to do this over a period of time if you want to get a bunch of them. You can buy any number of cakes that you want from the vendor, but you can only make your slices once every 30 minutes. The other things from Amy, they're simpler. It's just buy them and then resell them on the auction house. So you've got Red Velvet Cupcake, which costs 1 gold 60. The Dalaran Brownie costs 1 gold 60. And the Dalaran Donut costs 85 silver. So you mark those up 5 to 10 times above their price. So, you know, maybe 15 gold for the cupcakes and the brownie, and maybe the donut, you're going to sell it for 7 or 8 gold, something like that. Again, you need to use all the basic techniques I've shown you for auction house buying and selling and trading to work on this, to see whether you can buy effectively and sell for a profit or not. But for sure, you'll be able to make some pretty decent profits the first day of the event. Strawberry ice cream. This is available, the full name is actually Tigul and Furor's Strawberry Ice Cream. It sells for 5 silver. As I mentioned earlier, you can get this from the special event vendors who are near the auction houses in Stormwind and Orgrimmar. So they're pretty convenient, but as I say, some players will not waste time trying to figure out where they can actually get the strawberry ice cream for their achievement, and they'll just go to the auction house and buy it for the sake of convenience. So you might be able to sell these for about a gold or 2. Maybe even higher on your server, who knows. The thing to know is that ahead of time you can buy them, so you can have your stock ready to go right away if you want. And I'll just run this down quickly. You have to be a bit higher level if you're Alliance, because the only place to get it outside of the Children's Week event is from the innkeeper in Tellar in Nagrand. And so obviously you have to be in your mid-60s or so to have access to Nagrand. Well, unless somebody's going to summon you there or whatever. For the Horde, it's easier because you've got the same deal. You can go to Garadar and Nagrand for the Innkeeper, because she does in fact keep strawberry ice cream going all year. But it's even easier because inside the Zeppelins, all of them except the one that goes to Borean Tundra, all of the others, the one that goes to Thunderbluff, the Stranglethorn Vale, the Undercity Zeppelins, all have a vending machine down below. So you take the stairs down into the inside of the Zeppelin, you'll find the Snack-O-Matic 4. And the Snack-O-Matic 4 sells strawberry ice cream. Again, it's 5 silver, and I don't know, you'll be able to sell it for a couple of gold. So here, to wrap things up, is the step-by-step procedure for making a little bit of gold out of Children's Week. Again, don't go crazy with this. You're not going to make thousands and thousands of gold during Children's Week, but it's a nice little bit of pocket change, and it doesn't take much time to do any of this. And this will be especially useful if you're relatively early in your work with gold making and you don't have a big bankroll. These are low-cost, easy methods for making a bit of quick gold. So, first of all, set up your buy list in Auctionator. And the A list, your primary targets on that buy list should be delicious chocolate cake, tasty cupcake, small egg, northern egg. So keep those all on your list. Set this up right away and start laying in supplies of these if you can at good low prices. So stock up ahead of time at low prices. Use your buy list to make it convenient to remember what you're doing. And then as soon as Children's Week opens up, you want to be in there selling. Be ready when the event opens in order to take advantage of the best and highest prices. Second, if you're a cook and you're level 60 or higher, do your cooking dailies in both Shatrath and Dalaran in hopes of getting that delicious chocolate cake recipe, because it can make you a lot of gold during Children's Week. That's the best opportunity for sure. It's crafting the delicious chocolate cake. Everybody needs to buy it. And so you can get it from both the Shatrath and Dalaran dailies. It's very low drop rates, so don't be counting on it if you've only got a couple of weeks to go before the start of Children's Week. You can go for months doing dailies every day and not get your chocolate cake recipe. It's about a 1% drop rate. It's a little bit higher from the Shatrath dailies, so you may not have been doing Shatrath dailies even if you're doing cooking dailies, because they're not very worthwhile, but this is one good reason to do them, because you get a little bit higher drop rate for this recipe and a few others. Actually, there's some other rare drop recipes that you can get from the cooking dailies, and they're more likely to get them out of the Shatrath dailies. And then your B-list stuff, you should also have these on your Auctionator buy list, but this is the secondary things that aren't going to make you as much profit. So strawberry ice cream, lovely cake, red velvet cupcake, Dalaran brownie, Dalaran donut. These are the items from Amy and Dalaran. Strawberry ice cream is the item that you get from the event vendors or in Nagrand ahead of time. So buy what you can ahead of time, resell it in the auction house when the event begins. And of course, this is easy with the stuff from Dalaran, not quite so easy with the strawberry ice cream. And also, if you can, lovely cake slices are probably the most lucrative out of this whole bunch of NPC vendor bot stuff. So if you can prepare some lovely cake slices, that's where you'll get the biggest profit out of vendor bot stuff. And do that ahead of time if you have a level 75 toon. And remember, there's that 30-minute cooldown, so if you want to get a fair quantity of slices, you'll need to do this ahead of time, because you want to be selling them right away when Children's Week opens up.
I hope you enjoyed that video. That is a pretty good example of the type of video that you would expect from Jonathan Kennens. He is the author of the Massive WoW Gold Guide, and he's well known for producing these awesome video guides. And most of my subscribers already know that I'm a raving fan of his video guides, and I always have given them my highest level of recommendation. If you want to see more of these Massive WoW Gold Guide videos and join the elite gold making community, just visit the link somewhere below this video, and there are a ton of content waiting for you in the members area. This is a quick preview of the members area, which is absolutely jam-packed with video content. Almost every link here that you will see will contain a detailed video instruction on gold making techniques, and it is also available in multiple formats. If you're not already a member of Massive WoW Gold Guide, Jonathan has organized an exclusive offer for friends of Dugi Guides, so click the link below right now and check out what he has to offer. Alright, this is Dugi, and thank you for watching.